Hey guys, ready to do episode 3 of Chronicles of Narnia. This will be book 5 and 6, which will be The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Got it right here. And Silver Chair by C.S. Lewis. These are really coming up to the end. I've already read The Magician's Nephew as well. And Last Battle will be one of the first ones I pick up next month. So we will finish up the Chronicles of Narnia, all 7 books. I personally read them in publication order. Had a friend tell me that everything made a lot more sense. Totally understand that as I read The Magician's Nephew. But my favorite book currently is now Voyage of the Dawn Treader. It was Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then Voyage of the Dawn Treader took over because it's so, so good. So basically, the kids are thrown in as they are looking at a painting. And then it's Lucy, Edmund, and their cousin Eustace. And initially, I hated Eustace. Eustace was the kind of character who really just he's not a good person. He was just angry. He was spiteful. He didn't believe in anything. He didn't have respect for anyone. He wasn't necessarily a bad person, but he believed that everybody else was less than him because he felt he was more than everybody else. I think that's kind of what he went for. And really, we get to meet Prince Caspian again. We get to meet Rippercheap again. We get to meet all these wonderful characters, and basically they're thrown onto a boat. And Caspian wants to go find where Aslan's from. He's looking for, really not even where Aslan's from. He's actually looking for where the 7 members of his family that were loyal to him were sent. So he goes. He ends up reaching the Lone Islands. He ends up reaching a random island that had a dragon on it. Eustace gets turned into a dragon. Kind of the story there with Aslan is that he tries to tear off the dragon scales himself, and then has to have Aslan take them off for him, which is really points to in Christian mythology and where the Bible states is that you can't save yourself. You have to be saved through faith in Christ. So it's really, really a cool idea where Eustace was tearing these layers of dragon scales off of him, but until Aslan helped him, he could not do it on his own. Thought that was really, really cool. His attitude changed, kind of the way that your attitude changes when you're saved. Really, really great allegory there. I know for some people it bothers them that it's just really on the nose, kind of giving it to you. For me personally, I loved it. I think it's great. I've actually got my son reading Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, trying to get him. And I even tasked him with the task. I was like, tell me who Jesus is at the end of the book. So he's about 6 chapters in, really excited about that for him. And it's just, it was so genuine, when we get to the end and Rippercheap goes to Aslan's country. And then, the beauty of, the star where he's meeting the star, and the people were just at the table and they were sleeping, and just all the I'll probably miss tons of symbolism there at the end. And then finding that Lucy and Edmund can't go back again, like that was really, really cool to understand that we're moving on and moving to Eustace, and they all go back, and Eustace is a changed boy, and he's a better version of himself. That was really, really cool. So, Silver Chair was Eustace's story. He takes a young girl with him, and they actually go by their last names the whole time. I think her name's Penny Pole, but they call her Pole the whole time. And then his last name is Eustace Scrub, so he's called Scrub the whole time. And their job through the whole book here is to find Prince Caspian's son. Prince Caspian's son has been stolen and taken, and they are on the mission from Aslan. They're actually on Aslan's land, and they fall off. Well, Eustace falls off, and then Aslan blows him into Narnia, like just blows him into Narnia. Cool, really, really neat. I wouldn't have ever thought to write a story that way. And so Penny Pole, I'm just gonna call her Pole. She gets given instructions from Aslan. He's like things that they need to do so that they can find their mission. And as they're going along, we see Prince Caspian, and he's really, really old. And she's like, "Oh, you were supposed to go meet your old friend." And so Eustace doesn't get to meet Caspian before he sails off on a journey. So then a group of owls takes them and sends them to a Marshwiggle, and I love the Marshwiggle. He is so cool. He spends a lot of time being like the doubting Thomas. Like he's like, oh, it's all gonna turn out badly. We're gonna die. Oh, this, and it's so neat to see the way that he really just is a great guy, really compassionate, really interesting, and the Marshwiggle is just negative the whole time. Yeah, everybody knows that negative Nancy in their life, right? And so the Marshwiggle's that person. He just believes everything's going to go wrong, everything's bad, and they get put in some awful situations. And he has such courage. Sorry, kids are outside playing. He has such courage, and I was really excited to see the Marshwiggle in his life. And then Eustace really keeps growing. He becomes even better of a young man, and they go to this school called Experiment House. And so through the end of the book, Aslan creates a better situation for them at Experiment House because they don't talk about God. They don't talk about, they use just last names. They, all the kids are getting bullied. And so it was really cool for them to, when the story finally concludes, to have Experiment House kind of stop being that experiment and they go back to the way things used to be. And then Prince Caspian's son, he was under a spell by the same serpent that killed his mother, had him under a spell that made him believe that he was like just a knight and he was supposed to take over Narnia, when in reality he was the Prince of Narnia. And he was supposed to take over Narnia, but peacefully. But she was convincing everyone in the Underland where she was held that he was going to go lead them into battle. And really horrible. They tied him to a chair, and the chair entranced him into thinking he wasn't who he was. And so the final task was if he swears by the name of Aslan. And so they finally realized this is who he is. And it was really great. Not as good as Voyage of the Dawn Treader, but it is probably 4 on my list. It was definitely a very good book. And I am excited to get to the last battle. I really want to know how that's going to go down, what's going to happen with Narnia. I've heard that Narnia ends, and I'm sad to get to that point. But I finished The Magician's Nephew. I will do The Magician's Nephew and the last battle in the next video, which will be in April. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's a Discord link down below. I really enjoy having fun on Discord. Twitter as well. A lot of good conversations come on Twitter. And Goodreads. Mostly I use it just to keep my books, but I'll go through and I'll like a bunch of other people's posts when I get a chance. So please drop me a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think about Narnia. And if there's anything that you want to talk about, I am down to talk about it. So we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.